As the fight continued, Maria one day turned on the television and the title of the program was Product of a Good Wife. The speaker started by asking a question, and he asked, "Are you a wife or a knife?" He continued this way, "Some of you pray that God should give you a good husband. This is a wrong prayer. The prayer should be that God should make you a good wife, or that God should make you a good husband. The problem is not to buy a car, but the problem lies in maintaining the car. Don't go for what you cannot maintain, and don't cry for losing what you fail to maintain." After the program, Maria realized that she has not been a good wife to her husband, that she has failed to maintain what she prayed for. Then she picked up her phone to call Mr. Kenneth, her husband. Of course, every wife should know or have the words that are capable of melting her husband's heart. Maria applied that trick and got Mr. Kenneth melted that he has to rush back home before the closing hour in his office. The sudden change of attitude was like a miracle to Mr. Kenneth. He thought he has lost the love of his life. Maria took his bag from him and removed his jacket. Looking at Mr. Kenneth, he still could not believe what was going on. Maria has the original key to Mr. Kenneth's heart. She took him by the hand and led him inside. Of course, they had a good time as husband and wife. Jennifer was expected to be happy for this family reunion, but she started a fight, feeling that she was losing something that belonged to her. She prepared food for Mr. Kenneth, but the wife interrupted the service. She took the food from her and gave her a look of warning. Jennifer became angry and ready to do anything to win back Mr. Kenneth. She said, "Big sister, we shall see who wins this game in this house." Maria took the food to Mr. Kenneth and sat by his side to watch him eat like before. Mr. Kenneth, who has been surprised since he received his wife's call, sat before the food, looking at his wife and not knowing what to say. The wife smiled at him in reconciliation, and he opened the food to eat. To him, whatever it is, he will find out. Jennifer won't give up. Next morning, Mr. Kenneth was dressing up to leave for work, and Jennifer was next to him in the living room, cleaning the table. She had her eyes all over Mr. Kenneth. As soon as Mr. Kenneth wanted to put on his shoe, Jennifer dived the shoe to help him wear the shoe. The next action was Maria. She came out to see what was going on. She quickly snatched the shoe away from Jennifer and bent to put the shoe in her husband's leg. Jennifer was mad. Maria is succeeding very fast in killing whatever that might have grown between Jennifer and her husband. Jennifer left the room in anger. Maria has sworn never to fight Jennifer again, but to stay up to her duty as a good wife, and that was the worst punishment she gave to Jennifer. Maria has recovered what was about slipping off her fingers. Jennifer realized that, and that made her felt she was alone in that fight, and then she started becoming physically aggressive, ready to fight Maria at all time. Maria became wiser and better after each encounter with Jennifer. Instead of fighting Jennifer like before, Maria chose to laugh over the issues, knowing that her silence and actions were really devastating Jennifer emotionally and mentally. Jennifer saw how close Mr. Kenneth and Maria, his sister, became. She knew that she has lost the fight. What is next for her to do? She has to leave. She entered her room and packed her clothes in anger to leave the house. She felt so ashamed of herself. She felt so bad for losing because she was a little bit closer to winning Mr. Kenneth for herself. Her sister Jennifer started the whole thing, but she took it as an opportunity to woo Mr. Kenneth, but she was unfortunate. Mr. Kenneth was surprised, but Maria expected what was happening. Mr. Kenneth wanted to stop Jennifer from going, but his wife Maria stopped him from doing so. She said, "She has no place in my house, so let her go." Now, Mr. Kenneth decided to tell Jennifer what has been going on between him and Jennifer, that she was getting all wrong. He said that it started when he noticed Jennifer peeping at them while they were inside their bedroom, staying as husband and wife. He said, every night or evening, Jennifer would sneak to our door to enjoy the sound of our play. The very day I noticed that, I entered our room to caution her. What I saw her doing was terrible. I felt so bad when you accused me of taking your sister's virginity. I wanted to tell you what happened, but you were far away from me, though we were in the same house. When I entered Jennifer's room, I saw her with pornographic picture and cucumber on her laps. She started hiding the materials when she saw me. I demanded that she should hand them over to me. I want to tell you now that nobody took Jennifer's pride. She took it herself. The reason I started being close to her was to make her come out of that lifestyle. I noticed her advances, but could not imagine myself falling for that. Like I said, I wanted to tell you, but you gave no room for that. Owing to the fact that Jennifer was there for me, I decided to keep the secret for her. She pleaded with me not to tell you. She said, if I tell you, automatically your mother will know, which will result to big punishment for her. She fell on the ground and pleaded with me. I had compassion on her and kept it for her. Remember when you sent me to Jennifer's room to massage her? Truly, I was tempted, but nothing happened. The voice you heard was her cry, pleading with me not to tell anybody her flaws. After the story, Mr. Kenneth pleaded with the wife not to tell anybody about that. He apologized to the wife for whatever he might have caused her. In return, Maria apologized to Mr. Kenneth, her husband. She was very sorry for her attitude towards him. She said, I don't know what came over me. When Jennifer visited, I felt she has to do all the house chores. Since we were kids, till I got married, I was the one doing everything at home. I carried her and others when they were babies. I suffered a lot, so I felt she has to serve me like I served the family. Her stubbornness made me become aggressive with everybody. After her story, Mr. Kenneth held her hand and promised her that he will never be unfaithful to her and that he is going to love her more. Now, remember what the preacher said. Are you a wife or a knife? Some of you prayed that God should give you a good husband. That is a wrong prayer. The prayer should be that God should make you a good wife or a good husband. The problem is not to buy a car, but the problem lies in maintaining the car. Don't go for what you cannot maintain, and don't cry for losing what you fail to maintain. Please help us to pass this information around by sharing this video. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and make sure you turn on the notification bell for you to get our videos each time we post new videos. See you next Friday. Thank you for your support.